Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the craft, where we talk all things hip hop. I'm O.D.D.I.T.Y. A lot of this is based on my experiences, techniques, and advice that I have, that I've also learned along the way. So if this is your first time coming to the channel, I hope you like what you hear and see. I'm also an artist. There's plenty of stuff on my channel, music and videos. And let's get into this episode.
Some just do it for the cash, others do it for the passion. Is you working on your craft? Is you really about that action? Some just do it for the cash, others do it for the passion. Is you working on your craft? Is you really about that action? The craft. Welcome.
So I've seen a lot of videos on social media clowning certain artists when they get on the stage, and these are artists who have had huge hits, and going viral from that has kind of sped up the process of what typically artist development is, and they've been thrown on stages in huge festivals and opening for huge artists, and a lot of these artists were able to develop the performing side of development, and so that kind of sparks like the question, what's missing in rap shows today? And I've talked about this with friends and other peers in the industry, and I've got opinions from fans, and I've seen opinions from fans, and there's so many different things I think that people are looking for in rap shows that today that aren't, not always, but a lot of the time aren't there like they used to be. And so let's dive into that. I think the number one pet peeve that turns off as a broad fan base is a lot of artists are not actually rapping at their shows. And when I say that, I don't mean that they're just standing there like, no, they're rapping, but they're rapping over their full song, and they're competing with their full song, and then their breath control is so bad that when they pause, you hear the song still going, and it's like, why am I here? Why am I watching this person just rap their song? I could just play it in the car on Spotify. And that's a super valid concern. And as an artist myself, I take pride in, the craftsmanship of learning your songs and breath control, and not needing the song playing behind me unless you have ad libs or some backing ad libs in certain points to emphasize. But I think the fact that there's a lot of artists that are hopping on stage and literally just lip syncing or just rapping completely with their song playing has turned off a lot of people to hip hop shows, and that's kind of led to these videos blowing up of these artists at festivals, and it's like they got no stage presence, and they're not really even rapping their song. It's like, why am I paying to watch you do this? And I completely understand. Another thing that's missing, and this kind of goes hand in hand because the artists who are not learning their songs are not able to have live bands. So I think live bands is an element that bridges a lot of potential, fans who are not purely hip hop fans are more likely to mess with the music with a live band, because the instrumentation, it's not just somebody standing on the stage by themselves. You got a drummer, a guitarist, a bassist, a pianist, someone playing the saxophone, a singer with you, and it's a full package. And on top, and it's just a whole different energy if you've been to a show with a live band than just someone playing their performance track in the background. It's more interactive, and I think for artists, part of that has died down because artists are scared or not comfortable to perform without their song in the background, and don't have the skill or the comfort to be able to rap. And then let's say someone in the band messes up the tempo just in the middle of rapping to slow down to match it, or to improvise, because everything needs to be structured in this box and fit this how I rehearsed it, and it's like the craftsmanship of performing has been lost. Crowd interaction is another topic, and just getting up there and rapping your set and hopping off stage and there was no connection between you and the audience, that's been lost. I think having a live band really helps with that, because when you're performing with your track, it's like, if you obviously you have a DJ and you can tell them, stop it. You can tell them stop the song or whatever, and you can interact. But with a live band, they could just keep playing, loop certain parts, or take out the drums, and the pianist could keep going, and it's just so much more organic and free flowing. And you could freestyle. You could just have them play a random beat, the band, and freestyle or talk while they're playing. It's just so much more interactive, and getting the crowd involved is something that I feel is at the root not what it used to be. And that kind of ties into the final point, which is going off script and improvising. When your whole set is digital and you don't have the I think even with a DJ you can have the chemistry where it's like you don't need a live band to go off set and improvise. So regardless of having a band or not, just being able to go off the plan of your set and not go song for song for song robotic, and add some element that breaks it up, or something happens, and instead of standing there looking like, I don't know, like the audio, for instance, I went to a Lupe Fiasco show and the audio went out on one of his songs, and while they were fixing it, he could have just stood there, but what did he do? He literally just freestyled and came up with topics, and he had connecting stories about the city he was in to connect the people watching until the audio was fixed. And it was like, it almost was like it was part of the show, instead of just sitting there and be like, audio went out, I'm just gonna, go backstage and wait till they figure this out. No, he made it a show. And so I think those components are elements that are kind of getting lost in rap shows. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm O.D.D.I.T.Y. This is The Craft. If this is your first time here, leave a comment, like, dislike, share. At the end of the day, this is just, I want to spread opinions, and I want to get conversation going on hip hop and maybe topics that are not so watered down and mainstream. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you next week for another episode.